being the first person to do a spacewalk is pretty nuts.
And then, of course, you run into like, oh, I almost died.
Yeah.
All right.
So he made it back into the airlock.
Yeah, right. He makes it back in. He's all jacked up. He's sweaty. He takes the suit off. He's like, oh, man, no more of that. Niet. So you would think that that's the end of that. But if it were, it wouldn't be on the list.
Yeah.
So during re-entry, which is always an adventure based off of every movie and TV show I've ever seen and everything I've ever studied, there's a malfunction, because of course it was, that causes them to lose control and start to spin. Now, at those speeds, a spin is crazy dangerous.
Yeah.
So the capsule ends up landing literally hundreds of miles off course. And of course it lands in the middle of the Siberian tundra, one of the least forgiving areas on the entire planet. And these two cosmonauts find themselves lost in the woods, surrounded by hungry wolves and bears as temperatures dropped into the negatives. Please keep in mind, these guys just came through re-entry, which is so obscenely hot.
Yeah.
That until they built the plate, the heat shield plates, it would almost kill everybody who did it because their body temperatures would rise so much. So, you're Alexei. You've been almost killed by heat stroke, presumably very shortly before, maybe a day or so at most.
Yeah.
You almost die on reentry from the heat. You're done. The spin probably knocks you for a loop. You wake up in negative temperatures. You're sweaty. You got like a shirt on because you're expecting to land somewhere much more temperate.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, great. Well, now I'm certainly going to die of hypothermia. And there's wolves and bears. Luckily, the two of them were able to survive the night and were rescued the next day. So it could have been a lot worse. Man. Nobody lost their lives. But you talk about it.
Like, what an ordeal. Like, every step of the way.
Talk about an ordeal. Yeah.
Like, even if everything went fine, it would still be, like, the most taxing thing they'd ever been through.
It's like spending the weekend with your in-laws times 5. Like,